Welcome to On the Fence, the show that's about helping you decide whether or not to spend your hard-earned money on the biggest and possibly best releases. And Nick, good.
Sorry. What's up?
Nick,
Hands.
are you ready to stroke your chorizo?
Yep.
That spicy sausage, because this is Far Cry 6.
Mm-hmm.
The 8th installment in the Far Cry series, I think.
1, 2, 3. Blood Dragon.
Oh, so 9.
4. Primal. 5. New Dawn. 6.
Well, I can't see your fingers, your back's to me.
So yeah, 9.
Yeah, I wasn't that far off. The game numbering is confusing.
Yep. It's like how Kingdom Hearts 3 was like the 12th Kingdom Hearts game.
Yeah. Like, I imagine like game historians years from now are going to look back and be like, what the fuck were these guys playing at? But Nick, what the fuck? This is not Far Cry.
This is Far Cry.
You're in third. Far Cry is a first-person shooter, Nick.
This is Far Cry. Hands.
Why?
It's now a walking simulator.
It's Fortnite.
Yeah,
Far Cry 6
it's just become Fortnite. What do the kids love? Third person.
That's more like it. Wait, why is your gun glow?
Don't ask that.
I don't know. I have many. We've just started. I already have many questions.
I'll answer. Here's the answer to all your questions. It's chorizo.
Ah, it's chorizo.
Come here. Oh, he's a good boy. He's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
All right.
Like,
on the fence over.
Right, can you just wash your hands?
No.
Jesus Christ. I know you're a gorilla, but for fuck's sake,
Oh,
Nick.
good boy.
You, like,
Good boy.
COVID is a thing, you know that, right?
So yeah, it's Far Cry.
So, like, I feel like this is kind of a pre-gone conclusion, but yeah.
Can I tell you something shocking?
What?
This is more Far Cry.
Okay, so you've answered my question already, which was, what is Far Cry 6?
It's fucking just more Far Cry. 100% it's more Far Cry.
So, Nick, for someone who has never... Nick, imagine I've never played a Far Cry game.
Where the fuck have you been?
Wait, so does it automatically go third person when you're in base?
Yes.
And then when you leave base,
you
you...
just switch, yeah.
Right, okay.
I go out here, it's like whoosh.
Okay, you black out for a second. Right, so yeah, for anyone who has never played a Far Cry game before, Nick, what is a Far Cry game?
So Far Cry,
Good boy.
for like the last couple at least, has been pretty much a first-person shooter that revolves around taking out posts and things like that, and kind of the tropes of the Far Cry has been like taking out posts, but like you scout them out first from like typically like a vantage point to like mark all the enemies. You can take them out either stealthily or just go in guns blazing. There's always a fairly memorable villain, which I feel like has kind of become their thing recently, and that's kind of Far Cry. And Far Cry 6 is just that, but more. In fact, like, so Far Cry 5, it started, you had Joseph Seed as the villain, and like after the initial setup you were kind of tasked with going and take on like his 3 lieutenants, weren't you? Or,
Yeah.
like,
So
3 members of his family.
The rest of the Seed family, yeah.
So this one starts the exact same fucking way. You start on your wee tutorial island here.
Which you thought was the entire map.
When you first open the map, it's like this, and I'm like, this is not a big map, what the fuck? And then it's like, oh.
Shit.
So yeah, so like you get off the tutorial island, you get like the guerrilla headquarters, and then they're essentially like, yo, there's 3 people you need to go take out, or 3 territories you need to go capture, and 3 different people you can work with. And it's like the exact same premise as Far Cry 5. It's like literally tit for tat. It is just, you have 3 people to go take care of to get to the big bad. It's kind of funny that they've just recycled the whole thing.
Yeah, like, I think that's kind of the... Like, Far Cry 5 was fantastic for that.
That's where I need to go.
Like, each member of the Seed family was actually very, very memorable. Kind of disappointed me when they just rehashed the exact same thing, because New Dawn actually did do that. It was actually kind of... Its story was a bit different. Although there was the 2 sisters, it was more of a cat and mouse game, because you were chasing after them to try and save... a leader you thought was like going to help save the world.
Sorry, before we get into an actual mission, can I just show you the best the best minigame? Cockfighting Tekken.
I feel like PETA is gonna be pissed that this is in the game.
Winning more fights than you. Round one, fight!
This is actually a beat 'em up.
Yep.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
Wow.
So what do you, wait, you have a finisher?
So you
gauge?
have 3 attacks. You have like a light attack or a heavy attack, a light attack, and a jump attack. And I think it kind of works like rock paper scissors, but really you can just kind of spam one attack and it works out, to be honest. And you can dodge, and then yeah, you just it's a cockfight.
Yeah, I'm aware what a cockfight is.
It's real dumb. I just love that it's in here. Yeah, that's fine.
One yet. No, this time.
Wait, so does your cock die at the end of it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think he's just injured.
That'd be pretty fucked.
You can find cocks in the world.
Great.
You can unlock more.
Please stop calling them cocks.
Sorry.
Nick, how about you actually show some real Far Cry
right.
gameplay instead of cockfighting?
Pissed about his poison. Fucked up his operation good.
So obviously you showed us the map
Maybe I was
there.
wrong
It's
about
massive and expansive and all that jazz.
Don't take
That would usually in a Far Cry game that ties into kind of a lot of mission, like a lot of vehicles. So like you would obviously have boats, planes, helicopters, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Has there been much? Maybe you're too early and maybe see much of that, but has there been hints that that might be the case? That more sprawling, like helicopter fights and stuff like that.
So I've done I have unlocked like all the different types of vehicles you would expect from a Far Cry game. Like I have access to helicopters, to planes, and all that. Like once you unlock kind of this first outpost, or I assume it would be the same if you start in the other areas. Like you're given like a shitty one to begin with of each of those. It's not like a thing of you don't need to worry about finding them. But yeah, you could, similar to the previous Far Cry games, you can go and find them and bring them back, so you can kind of summon them at any time.
Yeah.
I just realized I don't have subtitles on. That's my bad. I don't play with subtitles because I'm a normal person.
Yeah, because I do remember in other Far Cry games, once you kind of unlock a helicopter that can fire missiles, capturing an outpost kind of becomes pretty easy.
Candela, this guy.
Like you just sit there and just launch rockets at it, and then Nick, your ride is taking a while to appear.
Why did you park it all the way down there, you dick? He's stuck.
He's trying to reverse.
You're actually stuck. Jesus. Right, come on.
So what have the missions been like so far? Are they varied? Are they just kind of the same shit?
They've been hit and miss. Some have just felt like do Far Cry.
Yeah.
And that is like just you're going to an outpost, kind of slowly taking it over.
Oh my god, you're driving keyboard and mouse. It's going to give me agina.
And then some have been fun. Like some have been like, oh, I've actually been like scoping out an island, and then like, you're what I need. Hi.
Great, you've already nearly killed yourself. Well done.
Can I?
You have, Nick, well, how have you already broken the game? We've been in this dude for like less than 10 minutes. Jesus Christ.
Thank you. I need you to stop. What? Stop! I'm stealing your van.
I just shoot him.
Get out of here.
So you shot the wheel of the vehicle you're trying to steal.
I needed him to stop.
Oh, I do not like the way that you play Far Cry. It gives me chest pains. Oh. Soundtrack it doesn't seem to be as awesome as Far Cry 5, which was just country rock, so...
It's a lot of...
Hispanic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
Yeah, no, I get it, but like...
This is
like
fake Cuba.
But like, whatever, you're sitting there driving and Carry On My Wayward Son comes on, and you're just kind of like on Far Cry 5, and it's like, that's pretty fucking dope. But yeah, so what are you doing in this mission other than stealing this?
I am stealing this truck so we can, I think, pass it into a actual, like, stronghold.
That was a straight up fucking tank driving down the road. Cool.
Oh. Don't mind me, guys. Just,
we're partners.
Totally I'm just part of your convoy now.
Yeah, look at my dirty wrists. Why are your wrists so dirty?
It's, so, actually, that's a good segue, Hans.
Is it?
So one of the things I've actually...
Hygiene, it's a stat in this game, and mine's at the bottom.
First off, can I also point out Guapo? He's pretty great.
Does he have? Where's? Oh, he does have the gold tooth. Yeah.
But yeah,
Do you unlock different skins? Yeah, you do unlock different skins.
So I can have blink.
For your amigo, are they just called amigos?
They're called amigos.
That's
yeah.
pretty good, actually. Yeah.
And then
Is there?
Chorizo has a Christmas skin
Yes.
because he's a good boy. Isn't he a good boy?
Can they die
No, you can revive. Like they can go down in combat, but you can't revive them.
and then come back at the end of combat? I assume?
But you can go up and revive them. I also got these two. So I'm playing this on Ubisoft.
That doesn't
Plus.
look real.
That's from Blood Dragon.
Okay, right.
So I'm playing this on Ubisoft Plus, which is like, as part of Ubisoft Plus, you do get like the best edition of the game. So I do have these two DLC companions, and that's why my gun was all glowy, because it's the Blood Dragon gun.
Can you go back to the K9000?
Yep.
Can you rotate him? I want to scan his QR code.
I think I've tried to do that, but I can get these to do it. So one of the things I've actually added is gear in this now. So you actually, so that's why my arm's dirty, is because that's what this is. Like,
Well, can it not be that?
I mean, is that better?
No, look, she's still covered in dirt.
That's tattoos.
Not all of that is tattoos.
She's also a guerrilla fighter. What the fuck did you
Do
expect?
gorillas not have showers?
Maybe not. So yeah, so all the gear does have like
Jesus.
bonuses, and I don't think there's full, like, so it has like sets, but I don't think there's like full set bonuses or anything.
Really? Then why do they have that as a
Like
thing?
each piece of gear has a bonus, but I don't think there's any exclusive bonuses for having the full set of anything.
Yeah, like I think it's cool because it's not been done before.
Yeah,
But it's also
it's not like gameplay changing or anything.
yeah, but no, but like it's also silly because it's predominantly a first-person game.
But you say that, so I think they've taken big strides in this to actually make Danny their own character. So
Yeah.
at the start of the game, you do pick if you want to play male or female Danny. I went female because that was the default.
Yeah,
And they actually, especially, oh, here's a checkpoint I could take. Let's go. So compared to like,
the range or the deputy.
yeah, so, and even just any prior, like Far Cry villain or character,
Checkpoint.
they've just made Danny like an actual character, which I feel like
Well, I mean,
they weren't before, because like they never talked. Like typically,
well, I would say yeah, for the most part I agree. Apart from Far Cry 3, with I think his name was Brody.
not Jack. No, that was the first. That was the first game. Jack was the first guy.
Because he started like there was a fantastic character arc where he was like just some douchebag kid with his douchebag friends doing douchebag things, and then
Where'd that go?
they were just kind of like. Then he literally by the end he's like you could choose like are you not you have now become this fucking serial killer of the island, you know.
But it's but even then, like you were you assigned like
No, he talked.
They didn't go.
Far Cry 3
But they've
talked.
definitely made like Danny definitely feels like her own character,
Yeah.
which is like beyond I've just been put into a shitty situation. Like,
Yeah.
they set her up her character very well. They give her a pretty nice background of like why she was in Yara and why she just wants out of it, and
Yeah.
like they actually tie her back to kind of what's his face a bit with like she used to be in the military, like she was drafted into the military, and like that's why she wants out, because like she's just seen enough of this shit in Yara.
Well, I feel like she 100% like it's a step back, but in the right direction to the likes of the Far Cry 3 protagonist.
Yeah.
Where, yeah, like the days of it's one of those weird things because like
Oh, missed.
why is he riding a horse?
Some people ride horses.
Okay, like it's one of those things where like yeah, having a silent protagonist can sometimes be cool because you want to just have the person be a spectator of these things going on, but then your ensemble cast around that needs to be interesting enough to carry it. But if there's actually like a proper story arc to your main protagonist, there's absolutely no issue with like the best case of that is Geralt.
Yeah.
Like he is not a silent protagonist, but he's still very much just witnessing these events and being a part of them. But then he also has his own, you know, when it comes to the main story, that's where all his like personal struggles and all come in.
Yeah.
So like I think like yeah, I'm happy enough to kind of see a character, you know, come back.
But like that's also then kind of what I was getting into was that's why the gear, like beyond like the stats, actually you like the game cuts into third person for like cutscenes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's not like Far Cry 5. I'm pretty sure like it was first person the entire game. Like you never came out of.
Chickens. Oh, those chickens are so dead.
Yep, probably. Like, I don't think you ever... Like, I think this is maybe the first one I remember anyway that ever pulls out of first person.
Well, that makes me think... so one of the big criticisms about this game and what's been shown so far is the graphics. Most specifically, the facial graphics around Juan Giancarlo Esposito's character. And I'm wondering then, have they taken a step back from the facial graphics? Because obviously when you're in first person, and it kind of became a running joke, you know, the bad guys always really seem to get in your grill. They'd always have the guy kind of come up to you.
But it's weird because, like, look at Danny's and other characters' animation series. Like, I actually think they look way better. I think they've just been constrained by...
I don't like the fact it's dropped to 30, though.
I think they've just been constrained by the fact they've obviously made Anton Castillo a real person and have mapped his face. But they haven't... I don't think they've done, like, proper facial capture on it. Is the issue. I think they've done lip syncing, but not like full on facial capture.
Yeah,
which I think is kind of that's why that his face looks a bit odd.
Yeah. Also, like that. Just to go back, that was weird. The fact that it went from went from 60 to 30 there in that cutscene. Are all cutscenes? I don't know if that didn't even look pre-rendered, but like, are all cutscenes? Have you noticed that?
I haven't really noticed it, to be honest.
But you did notice it there, right?
No.
Did you seriously not notice that?
Why is this guy overtaking? I don't think that was part of the mission. That really was just wasn't.
That's kind of what happens whenever you have set pieces happening in the open world. No, definitely go back and watch that and see, like, in that scene where, like, she's handing it over, there's a massive frame rate difference. You're the one talking, not us. Jackass. So I see this flash. What was that flash in the bottom right hand corner?
So that is probably the big gameplay change they've done. Is that backpack is called the Supremo.
Okay.
And it's essentially just like, you can get a bunch of them, like there's different effects, but essentially it's like a super move. So the one I have equipped right now will unleash like a big massive fire AoE around me. Or there's one where like it'll fire like essentially a mortar barrage from your back.
Right, okay.
And essentially, and once you use it, you charge it up by killing enemies.
Come here. De pinga. I don't even know what this guy looks like.
So is there, we talked for a wee second there about Trizzo and Guapo. Do you get human partners in this?
So all the amigos in this list are animals.
Yes.
From judging by the silhouettes.
But I'm wondering, like...
So I don't think there is human companions in this one.
See, that's different.
I think sometimes people will join you on missions, but I don't think you can, like, command them like you would be able to.
Sorry.
Oh, I see how.
I see a medic.
Yeah.
Is that a silent sniper rifle?
Yep.
Do you feel like it's OP?
Yeah. But I think so. Can I access it here, or would I need a workbench? So what they've done is you can obviously upgrade your stuff this time.
Yeah.
So one of the things they've done with a lot of the suppressors is they overheat. Obviously, they're all handmade essentially. Because you're making it. So it's not so bad with like a sniper rifle because it's not exactly rapid fire. But like, say if you had a silenced like assault rifle, like it would overheat and you would actually need to like stop using the gun for a bit.
Alright, okay.
With sniper rifle, I don't think it's that bad, but maybe like the more powerful the gun, maybe one shot will actually overheat it.
Yeah, but when you say like you can't use it for a bit, I think it's like 30 seconds or something.
Yeah.
That's not like...
Oh, it's not like the gun is just bad. Where'd that guy go? Why did you end up outside? How did you end up outside?
See, that was always a criticism about the Far Cry games was that kind of once you unlock a sniper rifle with a silencer, the game kind of becomes ultra easy mode.
Shit, a camera.
Oh shit, the camera. I'll shoot it with my sniper rifle like I solve any problem.
It's not even, like, it's just, like, I'm sure there are people who don't play this way, but for me, this is just, like, the way you're meant to play Far Cry.
Yeah. like thin the herd, and then like if you get caught, right? Okay, so like AK-47.
So essentially, by the time you get caught, it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, and also I suppose the other side of that is like also comes down to like there are missions in Far Cry games where like there is no stealth. Like it's just like right, we are constantly like you start like hot as a sense like. When I think of Far Cry New Dawn, I remember one specific where you're having to defend your main HQ, and like there's no stealth in that, so like you might as well just throw your sniper rifle away because I'm just like, okay, where are my heavy weapons? Oh sweet, there they are. Let's take these guys down. So this is a prison then, yeah?
Yeah. Well, I think it's a public school they've turned into a prison.
And so you are just rescuing one of your guerrillas, I assume?
Yeah. So the whole the story kind of is obviously you have Giancarlo Esposito's character Anton Castillo. He's a dictator and he's kind of held power because he is producing Yara has the ability to produce a drug called the Vero, which is grown like it's a byproduct of their tobacco plants, I believe, is the conceit.
What does this drug do? Is it like
it's a cancer cure? Oh, and essentially like. He visions is like, oh, this is hot. Like the idea is he is selling it, but then like he's selling it as a produce of the country, but then he's like keeping all the money. So
yeah. So because when you said drug there, I sat there going like that again. Just sounds like Far Cry 5 with Haze, I think it's called. But no, that's different. Then if it's not actually like people getting high and going super soldier.
No, it is actually it's a beneficial drug, but it seems like the idea like. So the thing they are kind of saying is like, but the way it's produced is very detrimental to the people who have to farm it, which is then like they're essentially abducting slaves and stuff.
Oh right, yeah.
To like, or like they're abducting people to work the fields, and then the fertilizer they are using is causing them to be poisoned. So
yeah, they become sick.
The person I'm working with at the minute, the Monteros, they actually like Carlos Montero, the guy I got this mission from. He has like that poison that is slowly killing him, but before he like dies, he wants to. Let's blow up this gate.
I'm right behind you.
I love how you just blew up again. He's like,
I'm right behind you. I'm whispering.
Can you hear me? Let's be really stealthy.
I need a ride.
Yeah, so essentially, Carlos Montero, like, he is part of a revolutionary group because he used to be a more well-to-do family until Castillo came in, like, the power. And then he was forced to work in the fields, and he is sick from the poison that they were using to fertilize the fields.
Don't worry about it out.
I don't think I hit him.
You know, you nearly took out your.
So correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Companions used to get in the car with you, didn't they? Like even the animal ones.
Yeah, if there was the space, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they took that out of this game. And that kind of buzzes me. Like,
no harm. High Street's will get in the car now.
Someone lifts him.
You want the entire animation to be you to lift chorizo in and then get in the car yourself. Look, tell me that's not frame rate drop.
Yeah, it definitely looks a bit choppier.
Brother. I knew you'd come for me.
Love
the guerrilla uniform of, or that's the prison uniform, isn't of white and red though. Very, very.
Yes, that is the Yara government colors.
I'm on board. They have good fashion sense. Bastards, but good fashion sense.
It seems like this is building up pretty much the same way 5 built up of take down to the areas and then not unlock the hub where Castillo is, and then where it goes from there, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to tie Diego into the story, like Anton's son.
Yeah.
Like they're obviously building up to be quite a major part of the story, but I don't know where he ties in. Whether like you're going to end up kidnapping him or something.
I'm sorry.
Well, see, this is the thing. Like, and the part for me, like Far Cry 5 obviously had that amazing bit. No, but classified spoilers now. Like where, you're put through with Jacob. Say you're put through the training bit.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it turns out, oh fuck, I actually just shot one of my guys because I've been conditioned. I'm kind of waiting for that moment in this, if that makes sense. Like that minute where it's like, holy fuck, that was really genius. But I just don't see where it's going to happen.
So like they set up initially like at the very start when you're like it's like when Danny is due to leave the island and like head off to Miami, which is where you can get like the like immediate ending that Far Cry kind of has in each of its games now.
Yeah.
They have that, like, so when you're on one of the boats, like Yara or Anton Castillo like boards the boat and kills everyone because it turns out that Diego's on the boat and he's trying to run away. So they are setting up that Diego does not want to like have anything to do with his father.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they're going to tie that in, whether like Diego joins the guerrillas or something.
Will there be a time skip maybe? Like, can you play as Diego?
Maybe
in like the final fight? Or like a time skip where maybe Diego just decides like, you know what, I could run this country better than my father and is even more of a tyrant. Like, with such a young aspect there, I'm expecting, like with Diego, I'm expecting something with him, but because he's a kid, not...
Yeah, it's hard
as a
to know.
kid?
It's hard to know where that goes.
Yeah, like I do, like part of me is expecting a time skip, or are we even going to have, like, as most games now seem to have a 0.5 in Far Cry 6.5, are you going to play as Diego, or will he be an adult there?
Oh, can't pet that big.
Also curious, like, I don't know if it is or not. Is the set in the same world, quote unquote, as Far Cry 5 where the nuke was set off?
I wouldn't think so.
Because obviously I know we're like in fake Cuba.
Yeah.
So is fake Kentucky?
I think it was fake. I think it was somewhere. I think it was a fake city in a state, but I think it was a real state.
But like, so is that state nuked in this? I'm just kind of curious because like, it's something like we've never really thought about.
Yeah.
Like, are all these Far Cry games
linked?
Yeah, but maybe not.
Oh, like,
maybe not the 0.5s because obviously like Blood Dragon is. Well, it could be set in the future, like, but
Hey, look.
there is this in here, and like I know this has been announced previously. Like, this is obviously the setup for the DLC.
Yeah,
where you play as like each of the kind of the big bads from before, implying maybe this is just like they don't exist in this world because, or else why would there be a video game of them?
Yeah, I'm actually curious how those are going to play. Like, I also know they're going to play like Far Cry, but like, are they going to be set within their own worlds?
Yeah.
Are they going to be like what ifs? But yeah, kind of curious about that myself, to be honest. So Nick, is there anything else you want to show us?
Not particularly. As I said, it's more Far Cry at the end of the day, so there's not exactly much worth showing that you won't already have known from previous Far Cry games.
Yeah. Well then, Nick, I'm always packing heat. This dude's also stoned out of his gourd.
This is Chorizo's owner.
Well, he needs to lay off the weed. Well, Nick, then we will...
Maybe that's how Chorizo became crippled. He sold his legs for weed money.
Is he actually missing his legs? I thought they were just... didn't work.
Well, either or.
Yes, but like we will cut ahead to Nick's final thoughts and opinions on Far Cry 6. So that was footage from Far Cry 6. But Nick, I have a question for you.
What is your question, huh?
If I was on the fence about Far Cry 6, what would you say to me?
I would say that at the end of the day, this is more Fallout, or not Fallout, Far Cry.
Oh, it's Fallout? Fuck yeah! I mean, to be fair, Fallout New Dawn, or Fallout New Dawn, Far Cry New Dawn was Fallout.
This is more Far Cry, and like your mileage will vary based on how much you've probably enjoyed the previous Far Cries. Personally, for me, I think it's maybe it's a bit too soon after 5 with not enough different or like tweaked in the formula to make it worth like putting a lot of time into it. Like, I've been playing it very sporadically since it came out, like maybe a couple of hours each day, not even like, it's not like I've been off work and it's not like I've literally sat down and done nothing but play it. It does feel like it's retreading a lot of already very treaded ground, and it's disappointing because I think Far Cry has a very fun gameplay loop and it's really fun to play. It just feels like there's just as much as like New Dawn was Far Cry like 5.5, this doesn't feel like a Far Cry 6. This feels like another extension of a Far Cry 5, like right down to like, here is your big bad and his 3 lieutenants that you need to take down. It just feels like it's retreading so much ground, that it's a bit disappointing. I don't think the map is particularly as interesting either as Far Cry 5's.
Yeah.
They've tried to do some things with it that I don't think have worked out with its layout, so it's not as fun to get around. It's just, I'm personally kind of disappointed. Like, I'll probably keep playing it as just a, like, fuck around game, and like, oh, I have like an hour to kill, I'll jump around Far Cry. But overall, like, I would be hard pushed to recommend this over Far Cry 5.
Yeah.
I think it, from the outset, Joseph Seed was a much more interesting villain than Anton Castillo is. It's not, I don't think that's down to Giancarlo Esposito's performance or anything. I think it's just the setting and just his occupation feels very, like, rote. It's an evil dictator. It's a story you've probably seen dozens of times in media.
Yeah, that's not as interesting as very, very charismatic cult leader, which is quite new.
Yeah, so I think overall, like, it's more Far Cry, and if you are a diehard Far Cry fan, you'll probably be buzzing off this, but I would much rather play Far Cry 5 probably than play like this if I had the choice.
Yeah, so I have probably I'm a bit more of a Far Cry fan than yourself. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, like, I never played New Dawn. It was the same thing with New Dawn, where like it wasn't that long after 5. I was like, no, I think I had my Far Cry fill.
Yeah.
And going into 6, I feel like I think I've still had my Far Cry fill.
Like, so from an outside perspective, I'm going to give kind of my thoughts maybe. So I haven't played it, but to me, yeah, this looks like you said there, for example, like, you know, this doesn't feel like long enough between games, but it actually, compared to how Ubisoft have pumped out previous franchises, this has actually been a relatively normal release.
Yeah, like it's been three, maybe 3.5 years since Far Cry 5.
I think, like, you're right, not enough has changed in my opinion. Like, you know, some of these things feel cut and paste almost, and like for me, I even think this is technically their first outing on what is the new generation of consoles, and it hasn't made that impression.
So I will say, from my personal standpoint, I didn't play 4.
Yeah,
because like 3 and 4 had a very quick turnaround.
Yeah.
So I didn't play 4, and then by the time 5 came out, I was itching for another Far Cry. So maybe it is a case of maybe I'm just going to be the person that plays every other Far Cry game.
Well, I think that is the case. I can't remember, we kind of maybe joked. I don't know if it actually was Far Cry, but there was a game me and you did joke about that. It only seems to be the odd or even numbers that actually are good. And maybe that was Far Cry, but it almost feels like, don't do the even numbers on Far Cry. 4 was very, very cut and paste from 3.
Like, if you haven't played 5, I'm sure this is probably really fun. But for personally, I just think
5 to me was a magnum opus of a Far Cry game so far.
Like, for me, 5 I think is probably still my favorite one thus far. But yeah, it just feels like they've retreaded a lot of old ground, and it's I don't want to say disappointing, because at the end of the day, if they didn't retread some of that, it's not a Far Cry game.
Yeah,
but it's just a bit too similar.
There are certain, like, I think, like, repetition in the gameplay loop you don't mind, because the gameplay loop repetition is just a franchise staple.
You know, if suddenly like this played like Doom, you'd be like, why is this called Far Cry?
Yeah. So, but it's whenever they're cut and pasting formula, whenever they're cut and pasting story elements, cutting and pasting pretty much characters.
Yeah.
And not only that, when they're taking away some elements, like you said there, you know, the map not feeling as good, like going around Travis County, was that what it's called? I think Travis. That
sounds vaguely familiar.
Travis County in Far Cry 5. It was fucking great going through the cornfields, blowing up silos. That was dope. Now, the one thing we didn't really go into the more there was apparently there is more urban areas in this, like actual cityscapes, which I don't know if you've encountered yet.
The game opens in one, but you don't really get like proper free roam in it. Like, but from the outset, like the way they phrase it, it seems like there is one main city in Yara, and that is where Anton is. So and that seems like that'll be a late game thing, if anything.
That's really disappointing. I like the idea of like kind of, and that was my big thing going in this. Like, even when we kind of went into Far Cry 5 and it went from kind of more rural to suburban, you know, with the wee towns and stuff, that was really interesting, really cool. But they were actually scattered about, so you felt the difference. This now just feels like you've gone a step back to kind of the more rural stuff. Like, you know, literally a town that consists of a couple of shanties, like shacks, and then you'll have one city. But fuck it, you're at the end game anyway. Sure, I get to explore the city. Like, give me a C6. This will sound really dumb, maybe, but give me Far Cry 6 set in almost damn near an entire city.
Yeah.
To see what that's like. Yeah, it feels like a step backwards for Far Cry, in my opinion. But again, I haven't played it yet. I will probably. I've got a lot on my plate with Judgment and FIFA and stuff, and then freaking Guardians of the Galaxy coming out. But I am definitely going to play this. I am just in no rush to play it, and I feel like that's probably the most indicting thing I can say.
Okay.
But yes, those are Nick's thoughts and opinions on Far Cry 6, currently available on pretty much all consoles except Switch.
Yes.
For in around £50.
Or, as I mentioned, you can... If you're on PC, it is on
Ubisoft Plus,
which I think is like 13 quid a month.
Which is probably what you're...
Which, yeah, like that was kind of my outset, was like, even from the outset, I knew that I probably wasn't going to dedicate much time to it, so I'll subscribe for a month, and if I haven't finished it by that month is up, then chances are I'm probably not enjoying it all that much.
Yeah.
So
I would say that's probably the best way to get... At the minute, is the best way to play this game is, if you have a PC, sign up to Ubi Plus, play it for the month, and you've only spent $13.99 on it.
yeah, compared to the 50 quid it would be otherwise.
Yeah. But thank you very much, Nick.
No problem.
Thank you for showing me your treat, so.
Yeah.